Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tony Lewis with Clearly IP, and today we're going to be doing a webinar on our new CRM integration tool for Clearly Cloud. Clearly Cloud is our UCaaS multi-tenant phone system, and we've been working diligently on some much improved CRM integration. Today, we're going to be kind of just talking high level what we have for CRM integration and what more is coming on it, and kind of walk through setting up um, or configuring CRM integration with Zoho CRM. And then we'll talk a little bit about our Zapier integration. So again, my name is Tony Lewis with Clearly AP, and we will get kicked off here. So the focus on today is around our CRM integration for Clearly Cloud. So Clearly Cloud is our UCaaS system. Of course, Clearly AP has lots of different products. So, this CRM integration is part of that Clearly Cloud unified communications platform that our different partners and customers use and sell. So what is the CRM integration? So Clearly Cloud itself is that UCaaS system that has, video conferencing and screen sharing and all the normal things you'd expect with a unified communications platform. We've introduced this new product called Spoke. So Spoke is our middleware that we've built from the ground up to allow integrating products like Clearly Cloud into other business systems. So Spoke, think of it as this middleware. Clearly Cloud talks to Spoke. Spoke talks to whatever CRMs we support and also gives you some agnostic APIs and integration into a tool called Zapier, which is a commercial product you can buy that allows you to take input from one business system and send that data to another business system. So in our world, Spoke, get my screen to flip. Clearly Cloud talks to Spoke. So up over here is Spoke. And then Spoke can natively talk to CRMs. Today we have integration to Zoho done natively using Zoho's PhoneBridge APIs. So it's Zoho that integrates into their Zoho Desk for call pop-ups. It integrates into their CRM and different Zoho products. We also have Spoke that can integrate to Zapier. So Zapier, again, is a product where you can take standard input from a system, do something with it, and output it somewhere else. And we'll talk about some things that you could do with Zapier. And then we've got just generic webhook integration where inside of Spoke, you can give us a URL and we will post to you all the events that we use for the native CRM integration or Zapier, and you can build that to connect to any system you want. All three of these have been documented in our wiki. So if we go to kb.clearlyap.com, which I'll bring up during my live portion, we've documented how to integrate Spoke with Clearly Cloud first. And then once you have it connected to Clearly Cloud, how you can connect it to Zapier, Zoho, or using generic webhooks. We do have more CRMs we're working on that will have native support from Spoke. So the first one out and approved has been Zoho, and that's in the Zoho marketplace now. It's a free product from us. You don't pay for it. It's part of Clearly Cloud. And Zoho doesn't charge for it either. We are currently working on Salesforce, and then we've got 3 or 4 others queued up. I don't have the list in front of me. I think ConnectWise and a couple others that we're looking at. And again, if you've got requests for different CRMs you'd like to see us or business systems you'd like to see us integrating with, please feel free to contact support or sales, and they can work with you and or open the feature request with our feature request tracker, and we'll definitely get it into our roadmap to look at it and evaluate what type of integration support they may or may not have. So we're going to just jump into a live demo here. So let me get my screen share going. Okay, you should be able to see my screen at this point. So the first thing we're going to talk about is just Clearly Cloud integration. So inside of Clearly Cloud, there's an integrations tab. And if you don't see this tab yet, reach out to us. We are rolling out support for it on a case-by-case basis for clients right now. It'll be exposed to all clients here in the next couple of weeks, but if it's something you want to integrate right this minute for, support can go ahead and activate that on your account. And within the integrations tab, the first thing we do is kind of set different events that we want to do. So we're enabling the integration. And then for queues, we're saying, hey, when a queue gets an inbound call, what do we want to send to Spoke? So we can say on answer, send the event information to Spoke, or on ring, send it. So we'll start sending the notifications of that queue call either on answer or on ring. And then do you want to send the call recording? So if a queue records the call, when the call is done being recorded, do you want to send that to Spoke? And you can enable or disable that. Ring groups, same thing. And then users, same thing. So we say on an inbound call, do you want to notify Spoke that an extension is getting an inbound call on ring or answer? When an extension makes an outbound call, do you want to send that notification to Spoke? And then Spoke could send it to any system you want, yes or no. If the user's got call recordings on for themselves, do you want to send the call recording to Spoke? And do you want to send voicemails to Spoke? So those are kind of the settings you get. And then we just go into Spoke. So we click up here with third-party apps here, and that will launch spoke.clearlyap.com, and you'll just log in with your normal Clearly AP login, and you'll see you have 3 different things you can integrate Spoke with. We can integrate to Zoho, Zapier, or generic webhooks. And then for our account, we can see all of our active integrations we have right now. So I've got an integration for this client realm to Zoho. This client realm I'm sending to the webhooks, and this one to Zapier. So they're actually all the same. So for this one PBX, for our setup, I'm sending it to Zoho, I'm sending it to webhooks, and to Zapier. So all the events that Spoke gets related to this PBX realm are being sent to all 3 of the things we support today. Most people, you wouldn't have all 3, but we do a lot of testing, so it's showing all 3. And then for Zoho, it's pretty simple. We just hit the configure users tab, and you're just mapping Clearly AP users to Zoho users. So I'm saying Todd Bryant 5011 is this user over in CRM, and these are the ID numbers from Zoho. And is he allowed to do click to call? It's something Zoho has as a feature you have to enable or disable. So once you've got all your users mapped, you just come down and hit submit, and it will now set up all that mapping, and you've integrated to Zoho. So inside Zoho, you can do a lot of different things. So this integration is native in Zoho. We have no control over what you can and can't do in Zoho. This is their own system that they have APIs called Phone Bridge, and it's designed just for this. So for example, if my extension gets an inbound call, so let me call my DID here. You can see we have an inbound call that's connected. It's been up for 38, 39, 40 seconds, and it matched it to this contact automatically based on the inbound caller ID, and it's showing me the contact information in CRM. From here, I could even, again, because this is Zoho, there's other things in Zoho you could match to, so it can look up their sales IQ. If you use Bing, it would, or Bingen, Desk, it'll bring up any information about tickets related to that customer. There's a Recruit if you're using Zoho Recruit. Again, we don't control any of this. This is all just Zoho natively. But I can add notes as I'm talking here. Hey, these are my notes. Go back to CRM. And when this call hangs up, it shows the call was 1 minute, 27 seconds long, call disposition. Those are the notes I added. Hey, these are my notes. You can hit done now, and it'll save those notes to that record, or you can even do follow-up action. So I can hit a follow-up action, and for CRM, I can say set a task, and it will open up in CRM the task field, my test task. Mark this as done. And if we actually go look at this contact now in CRM, let's see, it did that off of that number. We'll see in this contact, I think it's activities they call it. Yep, open activities. There's my test task it opened up. And under closed activities, closed calls, you'll see the different calls. So it'll post the call there for you too. Any notes that you added about the call. So that's just Zoho integration. For example, on inbound calls, that same thing will happen in things like Zoho Desk if you use it. And then you get click to call ability here. So you get this little green button. And if I click on a number here, it'll place a call. And it's going to ring my desk phone. I answer my desk phone. Yep. And now it just calls my cell phone. I answer, which is what I dialed, and it shows that it's calling, and now it should show connected. There you go. And I can again add my notes here, hang up that call, and it will go ahead and give me the disposition, hit done, and you've added the notes to that now. I don't think they reload that. I think you have to reload since I was on this page, it doesn't actually reload it. I don't think Zoho does. Okay, so that's your basic, that's Zoho Phone Bridge integration. There it is, 109. So, that's a quick nutshell. Of course, what it's going to match on is all built into Zoho. We're just sending the event information to it. So if there's multiple contacts, that's all up to Zoho how it's going to match. That functionality is something that you and Zoho would work with. Zoho handles that all pretty gracefully. That's not our job. Our job is just to get the events to Zoho, and they handle everything else inside their APIs. So that's our Zoho integration. Those are the two most common things. Of course, you could, inside of Zoho, you could trigger workflows based on call events, because Zoho is very flexible. Like, there's a lot of things you could do inside of Zoho by getting those events into Zoho. The other thing we're going to talk about is, remember back in Spoke here, we talked about CRM. There's also Zapier. So once you connect this to Zapier, and there'll be a connect, you just hit the connect button up here. It'll have you log into your Zapier account, and it will authorize Spoke and Zapier to talk to each other. And once that's done, I don't know who here has played with Zapier before, and what they call are zaps. So we've got a bunch of example zaps that we've built. I don't know if there's about 20 templates, 15, 20 templates you can pick from. I've got some zaps created here. So I created one called Missed Call from Tony. I just did this one a little bit ago. So if we go look at this, or it should be Missed Call for Tony. So I'm saying, hey, a new call comes in on Clearly Cloud. We can edit this and you'll see it's pretty simple. Incoming call, status is missed. So call type is incoming, status is missed. So we might actually want to name this new missed call just for better definition. And then the next step is saying we're adding a filter in Zapier, and we're saying, hey, this filter, I gotta save this. Sorry, I don't use Zapier every day. There we go. Now we go to the filter. So we added this filter, and we're saying to an extension or number, and it's got to match exactly 5001. So if my extension is 5001, so as long as the to extension is 5001 in the event from Spoke, it's going to match this. And then I'm sending this notice to Slack, and I'm sending a notice in a channel, and it will tell me about my missed call. So if I bring up my Slack over here, we will see new incoming call from this phone number to here, sent by Zapier. So you could send, for example, this is just a quick example of sending a missed call into Slack to notify you of a missed call, and it's probably a bad name. I would actually want to have the message look a little different. So over here, we would say, there it is. So this is an example of just a simple missed call. We could add other zaps really easily. So let me go back into Zapier. And if we go to zaps, you can create a new one, new zap, and you can create one from the ground up, or you can go into their library and pick from one of the 15, 20 ones that we've set up. And things you could do with Zapier is like that example, a missed call going into Slack. You could send your call recordings to Slack. You could send your voicemails to Slack. You could integrate to Google Drive and automatically every time a voicemail gets left, save it in a Google Drive folder. for a long-term archival. You could also have all your call recordings go to Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive or Dropbox. Zapier itself supports like 6,000 different applications you can connect to, and we're just one of those 6,000 applications. So what things are we going to send to Zapier for you? That's in our knowledge base. So under Clearly Cloud CRM integration here, we talk about the events. So we send all incoming call events and all outgoing call events. And for each incoming or outgoing call, we send all these different states. So on ringing, we send an event, on answer, on ended, if it's a missed call, if it's a no answer, if the call gets rejected. So you can filter by these different events inside of Zapier and only do what you want in Zapier based on the status, for example, of the call. And then we do media events. We send voicemail and call recordings. Those go to Spoke, and then Spoke will forward those into Zapier. Again, we have a bunch of published Zaps. If we come over here, I think they're called templates. So you would search for the template by Clearly AP, and you can start adding the different ones we have. You can also go to apps, and you'll see Clearly Cloud here. Could add a new connection, and you can see it's probably easier here. So when I go to add a new Clearly Cloud connection, I can pick from all my different PBXs or my tenants, and then it will show me all the different samples apps that we have that you can pick from. Oh, she's not set up. So again, with Zapier, there's a lot of things that you can do. We've got a couple customers we've helped set this up to send like call recordings. One customer just wanted every missed call to be logged into a Google Sheet. So every time a missed call to a certain agent was happening, it would log it to a Google Sheet. So whatever, there's Zapier supports integration to a lot of other CRMs. So you could push call events and call recordings into other CRMs through Zapier if you wanted. One of the downfalls with Zoho CRM integration is they don't allow pushing call recordings and voicemails into CRM today. We've asked them for support for it. They're looking at adding it to Phone Bridge, but we could do it in a roundabout way by bringing that call recording and voicemail into Zapier, and Zapier can connect using just non-telephone APIs to Zoho and push call recordings or voicemails into Zoho then for you if you wanted to. And then webhooks are more for your developer type people who want to go and have their own middleware to talk to their own CRM or business systems. And you basically just give us a URL, and then tell us what types of events you want sending and statuses, and we'll start sending all those events off to that URL that you provide us. And then you can do the same thing for media hooks. So for call recordings and voicemails, you can add as many webhooks as you want, and we'll just start triggering all those events over to your own system to do whatever you want with it. Okay, so that is the demo and live portion. We'll go into Q&A at this point. Are these integrations available for on-premise Clearly AP PBXs? Clearly AP doesn't really do an on-premise PBX. We have a hospitality system that we do called ComExchange, and know it today because that's all for hospitality, and hospitality doesn't use CRMs. They do PMS integrations, which is what we do already with it. But we ourselves aren't in really the premise PBX business. We sell some appliances that are just stock, like free PBX that you can have installed on them, but this product is all designed around Clearly Cloud. The Spoke integration is all around Clearly Cloud. The HubSpot integration be on the roadmap. I'm not sure. I don't think it is today. We haven't had a request for it. So if that's something you want done, please get that opened up. That request. We're going to start doing one CRM after another here for a while and start, cranking out some CRMs. So, if you want to get with your account manager, if you don't know how to open a feature request, they can assist you in opening a feature request. You'd be able to do some integration through Zapier for that. You could get your inbound and outbound call history and call recording stuff into HubSpot through Zapier, because Zapier does have some native integration to HubSpot. Can you apply filters to webhooks? For example, can you filter the webhook only to send calls to a specific extension? No, that would be your application. The webhook itself, you can do some real basic filtering, but if you only wanted extension 5001 to do something, that would be up to you, whatever the application is that we're sending it to handle that filter. We wouldn't filter that in Spoke itself. Does the integration have to be done the same for all users, i.e., can individual users integrate to their own Zapier account? It would have to be a single Zap. The problem is, yes and no. You can create multiple, I'm trying to think the best way to explain it. You can create multiple connections, integrations here, so you could do Zapier multiple times, absolutely. But your admin would have to set up that integration into Zapier first, because Zapier only integrates through OAuth. So that OAuth is done between Clearly AP, the logged in user of the Clearly AP user, and the Zapier user. So they'd have to, that user would have to be a Clearly AP user to set it up. Yes, you could theoretically send the same location here to multiple Zapier accounts if you really wanted to. Can I use media hooks to send call recordings to S3? Again, the media hooks through a webhook, you'd have to write your own middleware for it, or you could use Zapier to send it through S3. So you can connect Amazon S3 here, and then you could bring those hooks from us, just like we're saying Google Drive sending call recordings, you could do the same thing to Amazon S3 if you wanted to through Zapier, or you could just use our webhooks and build your own middleware to talk to your S3 storage. Why aren't call recordings going to Zoho? I know other systems do. So Zoho wants everybody talking to them across this very specific phone API, and they don't have it exposed in their phone APIs yet. So they have this new thing called telephony. And in telephony is how you integrate phone systems to Zoho. And it's the only way they'll accept anybody to integrate anymore. Everybody has to use PhoneBridge moving forward to connect with Zapier. And or I'm sorry, with Zoho. And today they don't have the ability to handle media. They said it's something they're aware of and it's something they're going to work towards, but they don't have the ability today to take call recordings or voicemails or any type of media file in their PhoneBridge APIs. I heard you say ConnectWise. What about Sugar CRM or Sweet CRM? I know that's been requested, so I'm pretty sure that one's on the roadmap. We will get a public documentation up here in the next few weeks on which systems we're currently looking at evaluating that we're going to be adding. Like I said, Salesforce is actively being worked on. We just kicked it off, the work on it, so it's in active development right now. And we're working towards what the next ones will be after Salesforce. To send info to Teams channel, assume would use Zapier Zap. Any future plans for closer integration into Teams? No, I mean, we're going to focus on CRMs because that's where most of the demand is. Does that mean 6 months from now we may not look at Teams integration? Maybe. Right now our demand's really coming from CRMs. But yes, you theoretically could use Zapier for it. I'm pretty sure they have Teams integration, but that's something you'd have to go look at in Zapier yourself. But I'm pretty sure you could do it in Zapier. Okay.
All right. Well, it seems like that's all the questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your account manager or send them in to us. We'll be happy to get back to those. Anybody who is registered for the recording will be receiving a link to the recording of the webinar probably next Monday. So you can look forward to that in your email. And with that, we'll wrap up the webinar. Thanks for attending, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks.